Today we've got apple, cherry, post oak, and hickory. Can I taste the difference? Let's find out. We've all heard the stat about how many millions of Americans can't afford an unexpected expense. One of the things that you can prepare for that will protect you against a big complication that can arrive in your life is life insurance. I want to thank Policy Genius for sponsoring today's video. I am a married father of two now, and it's extra important that if anything were to ever happen to me, I know that my family is taken care of. It would give me peace of mind. It would be something that lifts a burden off of my shoulders, knowing that no matter what, my family is going to be provided for. Policy Genius makes finding the right life insurance for you and for your family easy. You can compare policies so you can be confident that you're getting the best rate from a company that you can trust. With Policy Genius, you could find life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for $1 million in coverage. It's an easy way to protect the people you love and feel good about the future. There's a reason Policy Genius has thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. You talk to a team of licensed agents who walk you through the process. This is a way to get life insurance from people who specialize in life insurance, and they're going to be experts in the field, and they'll guide you to whatever suits your needs. So if you don't have life insurance and you got people relying on you, you can secure your family's future by going to policygenius.com/madscientistbbq, or just click on the link in the description to compare free life insurance quotes from top companies and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/madscientistbbq. Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist Barbecue. I'm Jeremy Yoder, and today is a day I thought would never come. Today, in today's video, I'm cooking tofu. And before you unsubscribe and leave and never watch another video again, this is simply to test whether or not we can tell the difference between different woods and the smoke flavor that they provide. And in order to do that, I need something that's tasteless. And I thought, well, if I use meat, that's going to have flavor. You know, each piece of meat is going to be a little different. So the best way I can test it, other than like, you know, smoking a sponge or something, is to use tofu. So that's why we're cooking tofu today. It's not something I would normally advocate, but today it makes sense. We're going to do the experiment. I have this apple wood, I have cherry, post oak, and hickory. They're all from the same gourmet wood products company. I got them at the same store. This is as consistent as I can make it. So they're the same size, they've all been kiln dried the same way. If I were using naturally seasoned wood, there's some variability there. So in order to keep it as fair as possible, I tried to do the wood as similar as possible. So, same company, bought it from the same store on the same day, they've been kiln dried the same way, as much as consistent as possible. And in order to do this, I have two smokers behind me, two of the Solution offset smokers. So I have two identical pits. It's kind of one of the benefits of making. Oh, there's a wasp, man. I'm gonna get that wasp. So one of the cool things about making pits is now I can get two identical pits to run experiments with. Another important thing about the Solution is we are gonna be offering the Solution XL, which is 8 inches longer, so if you need just a little bit more cook space, maybe that's the right answer for you. And then the final note is we're gonna have to increase the price of the Solution. We've kept it as low as we can for as long as we can, and in order to not lose money on the thing, we're gonna have to raise those prices. But they're gonna stay the same all the way through the week of Labor Day. So if you've been waiting, if you've been holding off, maybe now's the time. But let me light some fires and start cooking some tofu, and we're gonna see if I can taste the difference in these smoke profiles. Hey Scott, how's it going? It just so happens that I'm getting a wood delivery today, and so if you guys want to barbecue, it's very important you find a reliable wood guy or gal. My guy is Scott. Scott, can you come over here? I want to give Scott a shout out. Most wood guys are like used car salesmen. You never believe anything that they say, but I believe Scott. So if you guys are in the Louisville area and you're looking for a wood guy, I'll put some info for Scott in the description. He just happened to be delivering some wood today. So let's roll in some wood and stack it up. I have both of these offsets here behind me, kind of in barbecue configuration. I'm gonna run the temp at 250. I'm gonna keep it smoky like I would in the beginning of a barbecue cook. And the damper is set the same, the air intake is set the same, virtually identical in every way that I can make it identical. So let's get this tofu on. I don't know that I've ever cooked tofu, actually. I'm gonna say I don't have a ton of experience. I don't think I have any experience, but there's a bunch of liquid in this thing. Oh, gross. Little geyser. Little surprise for. Oh, now it's getting all over everything. Maybe I should drain this. Hold on. So appetizing. Good. Look at that. Juicy. Look at all the render. Oh. It's just so gross. Looks like everybody's working outside today because it's not crazy hot, finally. So this smoker is running on post oak. That smoker is running on hickory. I'm going to put one of these in each. After they get some good color, and I think there's a reasonable amount of smoke flavor on there, I'm going to change out the fire. I'm going to pull everything out, redo the whole process. I'm not even going to leave the coals. But in this one, I'll probably put apple. In that one, I'll do cherry. And then again, when those get color, I'll compare all four and do a blind taste test. Now, I think I could identify hickory. I think I could probably identify oak. I can definitely identify mesquite, but I don't know that. I've done entire cooks with pecan and entire cooks with oak, and the final product, it was hard to tell any kind of a difference. So let's see. Let's put this one on the smoker with Texas post oak. It just looks so depressing in there. You usually put a big piece of meat, you seasoned it, I'm thinking this is going to be good. I'm not looking forward to eating this. That doesn't happen very often. Okay, to the smoker with hickory. Try to put it in about the same place. Look at that, it was right at 250. Perfect. So, we're set up. We'll check back in with you in, I'm guessing, 2 hours. It could be an hour. It could be 3. Just whenever there's good color and I think there's good smoke flavor. So we'll check back in then and move on to the next 2 woods. So apple and cherry next. If there are other woods you want me to test out, leave that in the comments. These are the ones that are most commonly available. I've always said that pecan is my favorite wood, but it's kind of difficult to find, so I didn't necessarily want to include it in this test. If you guys want to see that, let me know. All right, it's been a couple of hours. I've tried to run these pits the exact same way. And we're going to open them up and take a look at these pieces of tofu. We're going to see if there are any differences. Ultimately, we're going to taste, but we're going to see if there's any difference in color or anything like that. And then I'm going to put them in some containers. I have an O for oak, an H for hickory, and then I'll do the same thing with an A for apple and a C for cherry. And I know how to do that because I went to the Derek Zoolander School for kids who can't read good and want to do other stuff good too. So I'm trying to do good here, and let's take a look. Oh, that's warm. Oak. Hickory. Hickory looks darker. Not by a ton, but it still looks darker to my eye. I don't know how it's going to show up on camera, but definitely seems darker. So before I lose track of these, I'm going to put them away. Oak. Done. You can smell that. Wow. It definitely smells smoky. This smells less smoky. So less color, less smoky smell, but really it comes down to taste. All right, we're going to repeat that the exact same way, but with cherry and apple, and we'll check in with you when it's time to put the tofu on. I wish I had 4 smokers that I could do all 4 of these at the same time, but I can do 2 samples at a time. And what we're going to do is let them all cool to room temp, and then I will taste them. So that's kind of the fairest way I can do it. I wish it could be all pulled off, taste immediately, but these are the limitations of what I have on hand. All right, we have applewood running in this pit. We have cherry running in that pit. We're going to do the same thing, 250 degrees. I spared you from me attempting to open these, and at this point I am absolutely convinced that there's got to be some easy way, like very obvious way to open these that I don't know, because opening them has not been easy. Anyway, let's put on the first piece of tofu, and I got extra firm so it wouldn't fall apart. You know, I don't begrudge anybody liking any particular food. It's just tofu has never appealed to me. All right, applewood smoked tofu. And another reason I'm choosing apple, cherry, hickory, and oak is because they're commonly discussed as barbecue woods. So you go to the store and get applewood smoked bacon, or you get hickory smoked something, or people talk about Texas and post oak, and a lot of people smoke with cherry. So seems fitting. Get rid of this. Now, for the cherry wood smoked tofu. All right, we're going to see you in 2 hours. We're going to find out if we'll see some visual differences between these, the apple and cherry, compared to each other, and then those two compared to the hickory and oak that we just finished up. Then, ultimately, blind taste test. So I'm going to have Erica cut some pieces. I'm not going to know which one is which. She's going to know. We're going to go through it all and tell you what I find out. My suspicion is I'll be able to get 2 right, and I'll probably get 2 wrong. I bet Erica will be able to taste distinct differences among all of the different samples. But we're not going to know until we try. So check back in 2 hours and hopefully get some good results. These 2 pieces of tofu have been smoking for the same amount of time. First, we have the applewood smoked. So it looks to me to be a little bit lighter than the first 2 that we did. We have darker maybe by just a fraction along these sharp edges. Let's look at the cherry. And here we have cherry. This one is definitely darker than the apple. Apple is definitely lighter. Cherry, the darker of the 2. I'm going to see if I can smell a difference. I do smell a difference. I get more smoke smell from the cherry, sweeter smell from the apple, but we're going to put these in some containers, and I'll use my Derek Zoolander skills. Use my Derek Zoolander blue steel. I'm going to put these away. I'm going to label them. Once they're at the same temperature as the other 2, we're going to sample all 4 together and let you know the results. And I'm going to find out if I can taste barbecue or maybe I can't. I hope I can. All right, guys, it is the moment of truth. We have our 4 samples here. Apple, cherry, hickory, and oak. They definitely smell different. Some of them smell sweeter than others. Some smell stronger than others. If we're just going based on appearance, this one is the darkest. It's cherry. That's not a surprise because a lot of people talk about the great color that cherry gives. I've used cherry specifically on things like ribs in combination with other woods. So the cherry was a coloring component to give them the beautiful kind of rich dark red color that I want. And then usually hickory or pecan or oak as like the backbone of the flavor. I've never cooked pork ribs, I don't think, with only cherry. So this will be interesting for me. So cherry is the darkest. Next darkest is hickory, then oak, then apple is the lightest of them all. And the reason I wanted to do this test is because even on these boxes of wood, they all have how mild or how strong the smoke flavor is and what meats are appropriate to use with each wood. So actually, I'm going to grab one of these. On this box, it says that this apple is going to be closer to mild, and it's appropriate for pork, vegetables, and fish. But it doesn't mention chicken, it doesn't mention beef or lamb. If we look at the box for the cherry, it says it's got slightly stronger flavor, and it recommends vegetables, chicken, and fish. But it doesn't recommend pork. Strange. On the oak, it's stronger than both of these fruit woods, according to the box, but not as strong as the hickory. And the oak it recommends using for beef, lamb, and pork, whereas the hickory it recommends for beef, pork, and chicken. So what that all means, I'm not exactly sure. One thing I'm certain of is you can cook all of those things with oak. If you're running the fire properly, you're going to have great food. The same thing can be said of other woods. So the question I'm trying to answer is there a distinct difference in the woods that's greater than how you run the fire? So for a long time I've said it's more important how you run the fire than it is the specific wood that you're trying to get, because people think Aaron Franklin uses post oak, I must use post oak. Well, guess what? Post oak is a subcategory of white oak, and I've used the exact same wood that they use at all those places in Central Texas, in Austin, and it tastes like white oak. It's extremely good, but it tastes like white oak. I don't notice a distinct difference in the post oak. Some people might be able to tell a difference. I can't. So the information we have now are the smells are different. The looks are darkest cherry, next darkest hickory, and then the oak and apple are pretty close, but I don't imagine they'll be close in terms of flavor. That's why we can use color as a proxy for the amount of smoke flavor, but it's not a hard and fast way to tell for certain how much smoke flavor you have on a piece of meat, or in this case, a piece of tofu. Right, next up, I'm going to be making kind of a grid pattern on the tops of each of these so I can do samples of each one, and I'm going to be doing it blindfolded. And so Erica's going to hand me the samples, and then I'll taste and evaluate. So let's get started. This is weird. Extra firm tofu. And then I'm just going to do that with all these, and then Erica will give me a taste. All right, guys, I am ready for the first sample. I promise I'm not peeking, but I'll even look away. Erica, if you can give me a sample, it'd be awesome. I'm turning to the side. How many double chins do I have? Maybe I should eat more tofu.
Come over here. Okay,
Oh,
now
sample.
step forward.
Step forward. Okay, guys, I'm going to keep my eyes closed because if I look down at the piece of tofu and I see a chunk missing, I'm going to know where it came from. Pretty potent smoke flavor, or, well, pretty potent smoke aroma on this. I'm not getting a lot of sweetness on this, just kind of powerful. So, yeah, tofu's not good. Definitely smoke flavor, very upfront, present. One of the reasons we use tofu is because it doesn't really taste like much, so we're just really trying to isolate the smoke flavor. I get a little bit of spiciness. I'm gonna guess right now. I reserve the right to change these in the future based on future tastes, but I'm gonna guess this is hickory. Can I just brush this out? I did not find that enjoyable. All right, number 2. Smells nice. Smells milder. All right. Faint smoke, not as strong as the first sample, but nice, very mild. Not getting a ton of sweetness. I'm gonna guess that this is apple. Ooh, this one smells good. Definitely more smoke flavor on this. More similar to the first. If I had to guess, I'd say oak on this one. Really nice. Not offensive. The first sample might be too smoky for some people. Probably not, but it might maybe be. But definitely, I'm getting more smoke flavor on this one than sample number 2. So, my guess is oak. If I get all these wrong, it's going to be so disappointing. I'm ready for sample 4. Slightly sweet smell. Oh, this one smells great. This is the best smelling one so far. It's very aromatic. Very nice. But the smoke flavor is very mild. I'd say sample 2 is the mildest. I do it this way. Sample 1, strongest smoke flavor. Sample 2, mildest smoke flavor. Sample 3, best overall smoke flavor. Sample 4, great aroma, but not a lot of smoke flavor to back it up. Slight sweetness, but generally just pretty mild. I don't see why any of these samples...
You can open your eyes.
Oh, because they're all the same now. Yeah. I don't see why any of these samples tell me that I have to use any of these woods for a specific meat, other than if you are trying to get more or less smoke flavor. It's not that any of these smoke flavors are bad. All these smoke flavors are nice, but there are some differences. So samples 2 and 4, I think I said were mild. Is that right? So I think samples 2 and 4 were those fruit woods. I'm going to guess 4, it was either apple or cherry, if I'm right. I'm going to go 4 was apple.
Good.
Because I don't know that I've gotten that aroma from using cherry before.
That's right.
Okay. Oh, 4 is apple?
Yeah.
Samples 1 and 3 definitely have the most smoke flavor. I'm going to say sample number 1 is hickory.
Wrong.
Oh! Was it oak?
Actually, it was cherry.
It was cherry?
Yeah.
It had a lot of smoke flavor. Okay, so turns out the fruit woods, maybe they can produce a lot of smoke flavor. It was the darkest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess sample 2 was oak and sample 3 was hickory.
That's right. Yeah.
I got it?
Uh-huh.
3 out of 4 is not that bad, but I had some extra knowledge when I found out 1. Well, first I found out 4 was correct, and then I found out 1 was wrong. Wait, so in our test, oak was the mildest.
That's what you said.
Okay, the mildest out of all 4 samples. This could also explain why sometimes you'll see these charts of how strong smoke flavors are from different woods, and they won't match up because on some charts they'll say, oh, oak, it's a mild flavor, you can use it for everything. And then other charts will say oak is a strong flavor, use it for beef. And so I think it's more how you're running the fire. I was trying to run these kind of middle of the road, not super smoky, not super dirty. And one thing is, for instance, with apple, had trouble keeping the fire going. It didn't want to produce a lot of coals, so I had to kind of watch it more closely. Cherry, lots of coals, easy to run, great wood to burn. The oak, no issues. The hickory, no issues. Great, lots of BTUs. The hickory used the least amount of wood. The oak used the most amount of wood. So, whatever that's worth. Do you want to taste these at all, Erica? Or? I would just take a nibble.
Okay.
Because the tofu's gross. I would just eat that vertex.
What's a vertex?
What is the vertex? The intersection of two planes? The tofu makes it gross, right?
Yeah, this is so gross.
It is.
What
I'm
is-
over here battling the grossness of the tofu, trying to determine smoke flavors here. So what'd you think of that one?
Tastes like a lot of smoke. If that's the mildest.
Vertex.
I can't taste any differences between all these now.
Yeah, you will. You'll be able to taste that one. Taste smokier?
Yeah, the least gross.
Yeah. All right, so Erica tried a sample of each of these. She is my wife and the one on whom I rely to give me good feedback when it comes to tasting things. And she said, quote, the apple is the least gross. So she's not a fan of the tofu. Are there some differences you can taste in these? Certainly, these are different. And I try to do everything the same. But these are my results on a particular day with particular pits and particular pieces of wood. So your results might be different. You might have a different cooker. You might have a different wood source. The wood could be grown in a different place. I'm, curious myself to know if it's the tree species that matters more or the soil in which that tree is grown. That's something I'm actively trying to test right now. Just this baseline, these boxes of wood that I got at a big box retailer, I got them at Academy Sports, they are different. Cherry was the smokiest, had the darkest color. I found out that apple does have a sweeter aroma. Oak and hickory were kind of more malleable than I thought. I wasn't trying to make them super smoky and I wasn't trying to make the fire burn super clean. So, what did we discover? That running the fire, whether you really try to make it smoky or try to burn really clean, it's going to have a big impact on the flavor. The BTUs of applewood make it unsuitable for large-scale barbecue production. So that could be a reason why it's not really used in a lot of those Central Texas barbecue joints or famous barbecue restaurants around the country. Cherry, just like we expected, put on a lot of color. And that's why people incorporate cherries for color. Hickory and oak, it could be that the smoke time wasn't super long, and so they didn't pick up lots of smoke flavor, but they weren't overpowering at all. The strongest smoke flavor by far was the cherry. So where does this leave us? I think it tells us a couple things. One, you can make great barbecue with different kinds of wood. You don't have to be locked into, I must use post oak because that's what they use in Austin, and I must therefore use post oak. You should use what's available. There's a reason why post oak is prevalent in Central Texas barbecue, because it's widely available. Why is hickory used in the Carolinas? Because it's widely available. Why is mesquite used in West Texas? Because it's widely available. So you can use whatever wood is a hardwood that's near you to make great barbecue. I've made great barbecue with almond wood and with plum wood, things like that. So focus more on running the fire than trying to find like the holy grail of wood. Now for the last number of years, I've told everybody who's asked that my favorite barbecue wood is pecan. If you want to see me do some testing with pecan against some other woods, let me know. So there are some differences in the wood, and just like what I tell people who say, I have such and such pit, can I make good food? Yes, you can. I don't care if you have, cherry or apple or hickory or oak or pecan or whatever it might be. You can make great barbecue with the wood that's available locally. If you live in, the Midwest and have maple, go ahead, great, use it. Don't stress about the wood. Make sure it has the right level of moisture and has sufficient BTUs that you can have sustainable fires and you can make it work for you. So to wrap things up, here are some of my final thoughts. A lot of times people will message me asking a question that goes something like this. I have such and such pit. Can I make good barbecue with that pit? And I almost always tell them the same thing. It's not the pit, it's the pit master. Some are going to work better than others. There definitely is a difference there. But What's between your ears is going to have a bigger effect on the quality of food you make than the particular smoker you have. And what's between your ears is going to have a bigger impact on the quality of barbecue you make than the specific kind of wood they have. One caveat, there is one kind of wood that I found to just be too strong, even if burning the fire super clean, and that's mesquite. So mesquite for relatively short cooks or direct heat grilling is awesome, but I wouldn't recommend it for barbecue. There are others who swear by it. So maybe if it's available to you, give it a try. If you like it, then more power to you. I found that for my flavor profile, I don't really love it. But if this was helpful to you guys, please like the video, and you can subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a lot. And if you have anything that you want to ask or something you want to say, leave it in the comments down below. You can follow me on all other social media and Patreon at MadScientistBBQ. I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.